Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to this CD Racoola show. I'm really excited for today's episode of the show as I get to review the film The Black Phone. I'm going to just go ahead and get this out of the way. I'm just going to throw it out there. I really enjoyed this film to the maximum of my immortal being. Scott Derrickson directing and Ethan Hawke back in the saddle again, reuniting from their work on the film Sinister. And if you watched my Sinister review, you would know that these two might have been twins, separated at birth for all I know, as much as they look alike. Maybe, and this is just a thought, maybe that's why they work so well together. Who knows? Not me. The premise starts out fairly simple in The Black Phone, and definitely a song and dance we've heard before, with a killer grabbing up little kiddies in his van and chaining them down in his basement. Ooh, basements are scary. He wants to presumably torture then kill the kids. Where this film differs is they have a disconnected black phone, an old rotary phone that's screwed into the wall down in the basement, where the young kidnapped boy is receiving calls from the killer's past victims with little tips on how the boy can best this serial killer kidnapper. Pretty interesting concept, if you ask me. This film was based on a short story by none other than Joe Hill. Joe Hill is one of my favorite writers out there today, and that is no joke. I know I'm preaching to the choir, okay, with you hardcore horror fans, and I'm sure you're all very well aware of this fact already. And if you already know this, feel free to curse old CD under your breath, or even out loud if you aren't in a library or something. But I will be crazy not to at least chat a little bit about the fact that Joe Hill is Stephen King's son. Sorry, I had a little blood in my throat. The horror writing talent definitely runs deep in this family. I think we're so lucky that Joe Hill has decided to take up his father's mantle with writing. And here's why. Stephen King, the master of horror, is aging, but he continues to crank out beautifully ghastly horror novels to this day. But he isn't a vampire, I'll remind you, and will no doubt someday expire. Sorry, that's just part of life for you human peasants. So it will be pretty sweet to have his successor continue to bring the horror to us for years to come. I could talk about this for years, and you know old CD has nothing but time on his hands. Ooh, my jokes are bad. But let's get back to business. Back to The Black Phone. How good was Ethan Hawke in this film? Like, seriously, he was so fun to see him jump out of his role as a good guy and play a baddie for once. Even when he was in Scott Derrickson's Sinister film, I really liked that film, by the way, if you hadn't read my review. It wasn't too big of a stretch for Hawke, because he was still essentially a good guy. Here in The Black Phone, he went all the way to the dark side, not even dipping his toe in. He absolutely jumped into being the psychotic, mask-wearing serial killer known only as the Grabber. Really awesome in this role, and seriously spooky. Speaking of masks, the masks he wore in this film were superb. to say the least. I like the way he would always open the door to the basement and have a different look with the masks and also sometimes the white makeup. It was really cool, and if you know me, I love the masks and makeup, so I was all about it. Also, basements, black vans, strangers with white makeup and top hats. Probably things you want to avoid. Hello, I mean, duh. I mean, how obvious is a black van with black balloons being driven by a guy with white face paint and a top hat? I mean, it practically screams, I'm going to kidnap you, doesn't it? I actually think, and listen here, I actually think the black balloons were a good touch. If this black phone franchise is to go on, it could become an icon, much in the same way that the red balloon has become an icon for it. So maybe I won't get red or black balloons for my next birthday party. Not that anyone ever comes to old CD's birthday parties anyway. Oh well. Oh, by the way, I was born on Halloween. I don't know if that would surprise any of you guys out there, but it's a fact. I have heard rumors that there will, in fact, be a black phone 2, and that both Derrickson and Hawke are interested in returning. I would be most excited to see them both return. I mean, who wouldn't? The kicker is, and I hope I'm not spoiling it too much for you guys, but Hawke's character, the Grabber, he appears to have been removed from life, so to speak. So I'm not sure how they are going to incorporate a dead man back into the equation. I've read a lot of good fan theories on this, and apparently Joe Hill has a way that he can somehow make a comeback, which I would love to see. Here's my theory. Personally, I would like to see a new serial killer using the black phone to speak to the Grabber on the other side or something, and do the Grabber's bidding. Maybe pretty sweet spin on the black phone too, but who knows, If you could, comment down below on your own theory on what could be done to bring the Grabber back from the dead, or did he die at all? They were not exactly 100% clear that he was deceased, were they? Curious to hear what you peasants out there think. Chime in, boys and girls. I would like to thank you, obviously, for joining me here on this episode of the CD Racoola Show. Please like, share, and subscribe to the show so I can get that new fancy coffin with a TV and surround sound inside. It would be pretty nice when I lay down for my little daytime siestas to watch some horror film before I go night-night. Please join me next episode when I review the film The Invitation. So till next time, my little bird bags, if you see a black van filled with black balloons, driven by a man in white makeup and a black top hat, maybe don't get in the van with him, use your brain, even if he says he has ice cream, even with sprinkles. Toodaloo, toodaloo.